I'm actually joined at this moment by a professor of history and policy at the University of Westminster, Pippa Catterall. Pippa, tell us when we're looking both at the Queen's coffin leaving Scotland and when we see those images of the new king in Northern Ireland, talk to us about the significance of the other parts of both Britain and the greater Commonwealth in terms of how this whole royalty functions.
Absolutely. Well, of course, when the Queen came to the throne back in 1952, she had the remains of an empire. She was the queen of a number of realms which have since become republics, such as Pakistan or Sri Lanka or whatever. But she's still got Canada, Australia, New Zealand and so on. And of course, she was also the Queen of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. That's the formal title of the state. So in a sense, the central mystery of this country is the monarchy. That's the crown is what holds the thing together, despite the fact that it's, if you like, a kind of mixture of things together which have been brought together through dynastic marriages and relationships and people just happening to die at the wrong time or whatever, back in the midst of time.
And this is so different from that because, in part, the king has watched his mother. He's been an apprentice for 70 years, in essence. He's watched his mother. We've heard from him repeatedly how much he intends to honor his mother's legacy and what she taught him in all of this. But when it came to how the British populace felt about the Queen, adoration, there isn't that same kind of popularity for then Prince Charles, now the king. That might shift now that he has become the sovereign. But how will that pose some challenges for King Charles?
I would say that adoration is possibly the wrong word. I think the reaction now feels a bit different from when Diana died in 1997. The mood of the crowds was a bit different, partly, of course, because that was so unexpected and it was such a shock to the country, and it was after an emblematic election and so on, whereas we've just had a change of Prime Minister, but this was not a shock when someone dies at the age of 96.
And very much a life well lived, and
absolutely,
people aren't in that same feeling of mourning, but for the king, he's never been as popular.
No, exactly. But I suppose what I'm saying is, to some extent, people are responding because it's part of their lives. I mean, loads of people, most of us have never met the Queen, certainly not on a personal level, but she's been part of our lives. She's been part of the furniture of what makes this country. And Charles has never had that similar role yet because he's not been king. As Prince of Wales, he's exercised his ability, I suppose, to sometimes say some quite spiky things. Sometimes he's upset people, both on the right and on the left. And he's also, of course, had a notable divorce in the past, and he was quite unpopular then.
Right.
I think since then he's made a good comeback. There's every sign from the polls I've seen that the public are going to accept him.
And we certainly feel that here outside of the palace. All right, Pippa Catterall, thank you so much. I'm going to send it back to you, Erla Lilia in New York.
Very good point made there. You know, you kind of hear them or hear us say the expression "Queen is like the furniture." You know, as an affectionate comment, because for people in the UK, they've grown up only knowing Queen Elizabeth II.
Go sense of stability.
The number of people, Errol, that I've heard from that felt like she was an extended member of the family. As a Brit, I don't know how you relate to that, but I've heard that repeatedly.
Yeah, a very common sentiment to keep in mind as we continue to cover what's happening there. Lana, thank you very much.